This is a quick read through of the Sun newspaper from Tuesday, November the 19th, 2019. As I go through, I'm briefly going to mention what the main content is on each page. So we start with the front cover, and obviously we have the masthead in the usual format that we're used to seeing it, with the white writing on a red background. And the main splash on this occasion is to do with the scandal surrounding Prince Andrew. You've got a main image, and you have the headline, subheadings, and a little bit of copy, but not very much at all. In the top right hand corner, we've got the plug for the content inside, which is to do with the TV show I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, which I believe had just started on a couple of days prior to this newspaper coming out. We've also got the promotion of the Sun's 50th birthday, so a reinforcement of their brand is there as well. We've got a little indication that it's 25p cheaper than its closest rival, Red Top, the Daily Mirror. Okay, let's explore what's inside then. Okay, on the left hand side there we have some, perhaps the closest the Sun gets to some hard news, with some fairly serious news stories, such as news about the NHS and the rationing of medicine, politics, and some crime stories. On the right hand side you've got the traditional page 3. Now in the past this would have featured a topless glamour model. The Sun no longer does that due to the changes in society and the social context, but you do still find that there is a glamour model there on the cover. Sorry, on the page 3. Right, the next two double page spreads are concerned with this royal crisis. The first thing that strikes me there is the use of purple, which has connotations of royalty, but it's not a particularly flattering story about the royal family, but you can see the importance that royalty has in newspapers like the Sun, and how the readers clearly are interested in it because the amount of space that is given to it across several pages. So it's a big news story for the Sun. Okay, over the page then we have, interestingly, on the left hand side, the advertising taking up a great deal of space, and beyond that we've got a mixture of celebrity stories and human interest stories as well. We have the feature on I'm a Celebrity that was advertised on the front cover here, and it's basically celebrity gossip and linked to TV and entertainment, so not exactly hard news. In this double page spread we can start to see the Sun's political bias. So it's given a 2-page spread over to the forthcoming election, which was happening in December if you're looking at this in the past, and I think you can see from the amount of copy and space given to Boris Johnson compared to the amount of space given to Jeremy Corbyn that there's an obvious political bias here, and that political bias is emphasised in the actual content of the stories, which are pro-Conservative Party but is negative towards Labour. The graphic in the bottom corner here shows statistics that support that view as well. Okay. Over the page, on the left hand side here, what we've got is the editorial section. So the Sun Says is a regular feature where the Sun basically expresses its point of view on a particular subject area, but also this section here, which is looking at celebrities again, but it's an opinion piece, and you've got a columnist there who is clearly known by the readers and will have a certain opinion, often one that reinforces their own values and beliefs, so you've got that kind of confirmation bias going on. On the right hand side, another royal story, this time the more glamorous side of the royal family. So Kate has worn a dress, and that's really important, so it's gone on page 13 there. A crime story on this page, competing for space with the advertising. Interestingly, the representation there of teenagers, where it says feral teens, because as we know, all teenagers are out of control and wild. Ali Ross, another columnist, this time talking about television. So various features, and once again, I'm a Celeb, the biggest show on TV at this time, and it's getting a lot of space because the Sun knows that a lot of its readers will be tuning in to watch that programme. Across this double page spread, we've got a range of human interest stories. So although these people aren't famous, it's talking about a missing girl. It's something that would be very resonant and emotive for readers of The Sun. There is a celebrity here as well, so there's that opportunity to put a bit of glamour on those pages, perhaps as a balance with the sadder stories on the right hand side. Okay, on the left here, what we see is a Sun promotion. So the Sun, part of its news values is that it stands up for and helps people, helps the everyday working people, and we've got the good cause, the charity work that they do. So it's kind of self-promotion, kind of intertextuality talking about itself. On the right-hand side, predominant space is taken up by a celebrity, Jennifer Lopez, alongside stories about the weather, which is a very British preoccupation. More human interest stories here on the left-hand side, and although not as well known to perhaps younger readers, but a TV soap star who was involved in a scandal. So very much like the front cover, you've got a person in a higher position, a celebrity, or on the front cover a royal, who's done something wrong, and that definitely sells papers. Okay, double page spread here, which is a columnist who writes about pop music, so entertainment, very much a part of it. In this case, it's a special on Westlife, which presumably is something that would appeal to the core audience of The Sun. Okay, The Sun Savers. So The Sun often has promotions and offers which will perhaps appeal to the low-income readers who buy The Sun. So in this case, we've got the opportunity to save on various items. On the right-hand side, another human interest story. And interestingly, the adverts are offering special offers as well. Another another charity promotion where The Sun is involved in raising money for schools on the left-hand side there. On the right-hand side, we've got a scandalous story about someone who captains a yacht, so kind of a human interest story. You start to see that advertising takes up a large amount of space in the newspaper, and that keeps the cost down for the consumer because a lot of the cost of the paper is paid for by the advertisers who want their adverts put in there. On the right hand side, we've got that's possibly Beyonce. Yes, it's Beyonce, celebrity, there we go. More celebrity here. Elton John at this time had got a book out. He'd also got a TV show that was going to appear. So there's the kind of connection there between supporting that and using it as something that provides news. This article is about social media. It's about TikTok in particular, and it's linking it to the suggestion that it's being used for grooming by paedophiles. This is a moral panic, and The Sun and other red tops are very good at seizing on moral panics, the fears that we might have in society, and writing stories about them. It could be argued that they are perpetuating, increasing those moral panics, or it could be that they're just a reflection of concerns that people have in society, or certainly the readers. More TV, this time in the form of the TV guide, which carries over several pages, and we also have a columnist, another bizarre section where this time focused on TV, whereas before it was pop music. Dear Deirdre is what's known as an agony aunt. So this is where readers write in with problems, and this expert in usually relationships is able to offer them advice. Deirdre's photo casebook is a long-running series where it's basically a photo story of a problem, usually to do with relationships, that is something that is serialised so people can read about it each day, which encourages them to buy the paper the next day. perhaps aimed here at a different kind of audience than other parts of the paper, certainly from page 3, and we see that continued on the right hand side where it deals with women's fashion. So 40% of the readership of The Sun is female, and you can see that their stereotypical interests are being provided for here with the fashion, and also over here where we've got a family section, double page spread, which is arguably, and diet, which is arguably stereotypically aimed at the female readership. Over the page, past the advert, we have a letters section, so again the opportunity for consumers to be active audiences and take part in a dialogue with The Sun. Horoscopes are a regular feature as well for people who believe in those, and we've got a game section, puzzles, more interactivity. The nature of the adverts is starting to change as we go through, and we've moved now to a finance section. So the next couple of pages deal with matters to do with money, still the use of a celebrity perhaps to make what could be a dry subject more appealing to the readers, then a series of adverts, excuse me, more Sun giveaways, aren't they generous? Then we're on to the sports sections. So we'll see as we progress to the back of the paper, which is actually often what people turn to first. You'll see it moves more to football, but it starts off here with Formula 1 and racing. Horse racing here with listings for people who are likely to perhaps want a little flutter, a little bet. It's obviously part of the core audience demographic for The Sun. Other sports covered, tennis, rugby, cricket are all given space, but not nearly as much as football. So when we get to football, you'll see that the next several pages all deal with various types of football, obviously it being the national sport and it being something that the male readership predominantly are likely to be interested in. What I like in particular about this sports one is we've got a classic bit of Sun xenophobia here, which plays on the stereotypes of Germans always getting the sunbeds first. So we've got Hands Off, which plays on a name, a German name, Hands Off Our Sunbeds. So it's like it's claimed the Sun owns those beds, and it's just a promotion of Britishness and the Euroscepticism that we often see in newspapers such as this. So that was your brief guide to Tuesday's The Sun.